Hey guys, look what I got in the mail today. The Conan Tower of the Elephant board game. This is a Kickstarter that was done, I don't know, maybe a year ago. It didn't take them very long to produce it and get it out, and it's pretty slick. So this is the box, front cover, back, and we're going to do an unboxing here and see what's all about in this. So the box is actually a lot smaller than I thought it would be. It's about 8.5 by 8 by about 3.5 thick. So she's not a real hefty game at all. All right. The best tool, razor blade knives. Yeah, really. Funded and delivered in a timely manner indeed. This is one of the few Kickstarters I backed that has actually delivered very close to the time they said they'd do it. And during the Kickstarter, they actually unlocked a whole bunch of upgrades to the parts. So it was impressive that they were able to get it out on time. Cute. So the inside of the box lid, camera's not the greatest here, I apologize, is a, let's see if we can get some light on this, is part of the game component. It's the inside of a, looks like grounds of a castle maybe. That's kind of neat. So be careful when you unbox it, I suppose, because the lid is part of the game component. All right, let's see what we got in here. First thing out is a paperback, pretty slim, 22-page manual. Full color, glossy pages, looks pretty nice. Layout's pretty simple, 2-column, easy to read, good font size for those of us that have older eyes. All right, so book, separate scenario book, same size, also full color, looks to be about 15 pages long. Same 2-column full color display inside. Okay, we got what look like to be some encounter cards maybe. Yeah, these are ways to keep track of your heroes and foes, I'm guessing. Nice art. Definitely seeing a spider theme going on here. Now I know that Tower of the Elephant was one of the short stories from the original Conan line. And I remember it being a pretty cool story, but mostly it's Conan going into an old forbidden tower and finding a dying elephant man who is the last of his kind. But I don't remember there being much in the way of foes that Conan faced. It was very much a go here, look at the strange thing, report on it sort of story. Here we go. The man himself, much larger card. Going with the rendition of Conan where he's very muscular, the Arnold variety, if you're fans of the Arnold movie. Myself, love the Arnold movie, but I really like the aesthetic that Momoa gave to the more recent Conan movie. Wasn't a great script. He didn't have awesome lines, but to me, Momoa's physique was very much more in line with how Conan was depicted in the novels. All right, now we're getting down to the tokens. Cardboard tokens. For my money, I really hate these for the most part because it's very difficult to punch these out without tearing. But I'm noticing here as I'm just moving them around, they actually come out real easy. Barely have to put any pressure at all, and they pop right out. So I think this is a pretty good die cut. I think if you go slow, you'll probably have a really good chance of getting these components out without the frayed and torn edges. It looks like the cards for the game are these cardboard chits or tokens as well. Don't know how I feel about that. I kind of like having card decks instead of tokens for everything. But again, they just fall right out. They're really well cut. All right, so you don't get a ton of miniatures in this. A lot of the pieces are all cardboard. So here are the cardboard stand-ups for the villains. Yeah, it's not bad on the thickness. If you guys are familiar with the last version of Warhammer Fantasy by Fantasy Flight Games, they're not as thick as that cardboard is, but not bad at all. And it does have that silk screen texture to it. So I think these will last, just don't get them wet. All right, here we got some physical tokens, little life cubes probably. I haven't read the rules at all. You did get a PDF with this as well if you did the Kickstarter. To be honest, with physical games like this, I typically don't read those PDFs right away. I want to get the actual game in my hand first. I want to look at it. I want to play with the components. Okay, we got a pack of dice here, different colors, and these are like dollar store dice. There's nothing special about them. I mean, they'll do, but this is not top manufacturing like Chessex dice or anything like that. Yeah, I mean, you can actually see a little misprint on some of the pips where the ink isn't completely filling the pip hole. All right, I think this is just a little spacer so that your components don't rattle around, which is a very nice thing because as we saw earlier, the box itself is part of the game. Let's open this up. No, I'm wrong. There's something in here. The actual miniatures that I think were Kickstarter stretch goals that were met. So plastic, detail quality, it's all right. Let's see if I can get a good focus here on one of them. Pardon the camera. It's not incredibly high definition. Oh, look at this. This little arachnid on a throne. That one's kind of cool. They look almost like they've been primer coated, perhaps. They might be a little easier to paint. I mean, with board game pieces like this, I tend to just do a primer base coat, a little bit of ink to get into the folds to give it a little bit of definition, and then just a little bit of dry brushing. I don't go into a lot of details with board game miniatures. Here's Conan. Sorry, my camera doesn't focus real well close up. Some more crystal-like dice components. Not sure what these little guys are. They look like little cut gemstones, of course, plastic. Bases. Big old bases for those cardboard characters we have. Oh, I didn't bring it down with me, but also included in this box was a little bag of, I think, replacements for these. I think maybe they missized these and they're too big for the actual board, but they shipped the game with another container that was kind of taped to the top of the box. It had a slightly smaller base and they were clear. So, yeah, be careful when you unpack yours. You don't want to throw that out on accident. Yeah, Richard. Yeah, unfortunately, they don't send out real diamonds as tokens for the Kickstarter backers. Like, I'd wait an extra year for that. I think that's fair. So there are cards. They're not all just chit-based cards. Let me see if we can open this pack. All right, let's be careful here and see what we can do. Now, I was saying they are plastic with the diamond-like bits because I have seen board games where they actually do make them out of glass. They're kind of cool when they do that. They're a little heavier in the hand, and because they're heavier, they don't go flying off the table as easy. All right, so we got one deck of cards here. Color coded, so we've got, I guess, green is initiative cards. And item cards. So this is feeling a lot like an old Milton Bradley Hero Quest game, if anyone's familiar with that. I had a lot of fun with that growing up. Kind of a pseudo role-playing game, maybe. We got Plots and Plans. Cardstock quality, Steve. It's not bad. It's not bad at all. If you are familiar with any of the Fantasy Flight board games, it's not quite as thick as those, but not bad. I mean, it's solid. There's no ripple in them. A lot of time with the cheap cardboard, you'll get the sheets and you'll notice like there's a curve in the sheet. It's already started to cup. These are all perfectly flat. There's no cupping on the cardboard at all. So not bad. I think they will last pretty well. Another deck of cards. Let's see what these are. Okay, looks like there's two colors in this deck. Here's it's the back of one, and they look like they're more front of one, and these are more plot and plan cards. Okay, so it looks like there's multiple adventures, maybe more special items. Yeah, a little rules reference card. Looks like there's a couple of these in there. All right, another sheet of cardboard tokens. It looks like these are effects to put on the board. And what's this? They're kind of the size of bookmarks. They are cardboard, not as thick as the tokens, but still a little thick. These might be the character cards, perhaps. They certainly have like RPG stats on them. Let me get you a better. Here's a nice looking one. And yeah, a series of statistics on the back here for the game. I'm really interested now to see what the system is like and if it is truly like a light RPG. Now here's the neat part. Let's see if I can get a good camera angle on this. As I said, the box, the cover, was part of the board. Well, if you look at the interior of what's left in the box, it's each tower section of the board. So I think what this is meant to be is you stack them, and as Conan goes down from level to level, you remove the level. I already noticed something I'm not a real happy about. Let me see if I can get a picture of this. So the inside of the lids have this lining on them, and the lining on this one here is already starting to come off a little bit. If you see that corner right here, it's got a bubble in it. So I worry about the long-term usability of these as boards. I mean, it's a neat effect, and this is a pretty thick cardboard as well, but already seeing that bubble right there in the graphics, I'm not too thrilled about that. So here's another layer. This one doesn't have any of the bubbling on the strips. Notice the bottom of them have a grid as well. So the next layer. This looks like a barracks. Inside of this one's all right. It might just be the one piece for me that had an imperfection in it. You know what? I bet if I got some nice clear glue that doesn't leave any residue and just cover the edges of that, it probably would seal it pretty good. So I'm not going to dog it too much for that. This is definitely not going to be a game you break out for kids, I would think. I think the components wouldn't last if you gave this to your kids to play through without any kind of supervision. I do not think it would last too long. All right, next level. Oh, this looks like some arcane chamber. Getting a little higher up in the tower now, I think. Again, the inside of this one, smooth. I don't see any of the graphics peeling off from the edges, no bubbling. So far, just the one. All right. Yeah, Richard, I've got many cats here that, you know the cat adage, if it fits, they sits. And I think I would have several cats that would try to sit in these. Yeah, another one that's pretty good inside. I may have just gotten one that just needs a little bit of care before I actually bring it to the table. What table there is these days, of course. I haven't had a live person in my house other than my wife for a year. All right, another level of staircases. So this is a third box that's basically just a spiral staircase. And again, this one's got a little pattern on the back instead of just a grid as well. That's neat. You know what? I wonder, they're all, of course, different sizes, but I wonder if you can't quite line them up to make a big map with them. They've got the sides don't come out so that you can line up the grid. There's a little bit of a gutter there. Yeah, you are. These are supposed to be stacked on top of each other to make a tower. And as you're exploring each level, you remove the towers as you go, from what I understand. Oh, so this is the the bottom of the box, and again, the box itself is part of the board. So, yeah, unfortunately, I think this is one you're going to have to treat pretty carefully if you want to get a lot of years out of play. Of course, the whole box gimmick, while it's a cool thing to kind of give a 3D structure, I think if the game itself lends to a lot of replay and there are a lot of different missions, and it looks like there's something of a mission generation system too, this can easily be duplicated out, print out from your PDF the actual floor mats, and just do away with the box maybe. It's still cool though. I do like the concept. Actually, here's the back of the box, and if you can see right here, that's all the rooms stacked on top of each other. And you're right, it looks like you're supposed to do it so that the box is laid like this, and you're pulling off each layer, laying it down and playing out of the layer as you do it. Yeah, so not bad. I don't remember what this went for on the Kickstarter. Let's look it up. Well, this will take a minute. I've got way too many Kickstarters that I've backed, so we'll have to scroll down the list to find it here. Let's just use the search. Okay, so the level that I backed at to get the physical box was $39. It wasn't bad. Wasn't bad at all. I do believe I paid shipping separately. Yeah, shipping was not included with the pledge, but I don't think it was much. I think it ended up being between like 10 and 15 bucks. Not bad at all. So let's call it a $50 board game. Worth 50 bucks? I think if you're a Conan fan and you like the style of a Hero Quest sort of game, roll and move, light RPG, yeah, I think I'd pick it up. If I had the discretionary budget, I walked into a Walmart or Target and I saw this on the shelf alongside other games that are, within 10, 20 bucks. I'm a big Conan fan. I think I'd go for it. It's compact. It's nice. Again, I'm not sure about the longevity, but the nice thing about the PDF they gave you was that if you do have components, they go missing, get torn up, you can always print out what you need. PDF is full color as well. Let's see. All right, see what stretch goals did they have on this? See if any of them were PDF based. One rule book, one scenario book, 25 standees and bases, the tracker board, 34 skill cards, 83 game cards, 42 game dice, 1 Conan and Taurus cards, 10 clear crystals, 10 red cubes, 14 blue cubes, 50 game tokens, 1 Yara, 1 spider card, 21 minion cards. Yes, there were digital scenarios that were unlocked in the stretch goals. So even more scenarios. You got a code for the Conan 2D20 role-playing game. You got another scenario. You got another digital RPG book. Another scenario. You got the Conan Tower of the Elephant story done in comic book fashion. It was as a PDF as well. And a scenario for the Conan Monolith board game that came out a few years prior to this. So within the last 5 years, I think. And a discount coupon for Conan coins from Shire Post Mint. I went, I think, the bare level to get a physical product on this one. I think all those yeah, you know what? All of those things I mentioned were actually part of the base level. So if you were interested in using those coupons, they also gave you an audio book for Tower of the Element for the original uh, Howard story as well. I listened to a little bit of it. Narrator's got a pretty good voice, so that was a nice little extra to the pledge. So there we go, Conan, Tower of the Elephant. My first unboxing video, and probably my first Kickstarter that funded and delivered reasonably, very reasonably within the time limit they gave. So kudos on that. I think overall have fun with this. I'll record my impressions on a board game night when we eventually can have some folks over. This is not my wife's cup of tea. I doubt I'll be able to get her to play a game with me, but I might. It's possible. Never say no. Yeah, looks very interesting. Well, guys, thank you very much for watching. If there's any last minute questions out there, there's a few of you watching about any of the components. Again, I haven't done a read through of the rules yet to see how light of an RPG it might be, or if it's strictly, this is a board game, you're not going to get a lot of like character development or advancement out of it. I don't know that yet. All right. Well, thanks a lot for watching, guys. Again, Conan, Tower of the Elephant, produced by Room 17 Games. Again, the front cover. See you guys.